Welcome to MKA Rewind, where we will be going through all the activities of Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association this year. This year saw the rise of the terrorist group ISIS, and with it, groups of young British Muslims going to Syria and Iraq to join these militants. Whereas we had one group of British Muslims acting in this extreme manner, on the other we had the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, who threw themselves wholeheartedly into serving British society. One of the major challenges of the year was responding to the extreme flooding which hit parts of the United Kingdom. Hundreds of Ahmadiyya Muslim youth went out across the country in order to help people as best they could. Here are some highlights of that effort.
We're just going to the army. The army's just come and actually delivered some sandbags, which our Khuddam are taking care of and just transferring down to the sandbag area. We've got Khuddam from Baitul Futuh, Baitul Noor, South, Middlesex, mashallah, in strong numbers.
GCSE student 16-year-old Zafar Ahmad is our youngest flood hero. He gave up his half-term to help protect homes and people in Surrey. He was one of 50 volunteers from the South West London Muslim Youth Group who travelled 30 miles from London to offer their help.
Okay, we're actually at St Paul's Church in Staines, where most of the flood relief efforts for this area were coordinated. So in the church there were lots of supplies, blankets, food, but the main sandbag efforts were actually at the Magna Carta School just next door.
The first day I came down here we had to do quite hard work. It was mainly filling up sandbags and delivering them to people.
Blood-swept lands and seas of red. This year marked 100 years since the beginning of the First World War. 888,246 ceramic poppies were installed at the Tower of London, each one marking a British fatality during the war. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association were given the immense honour of being allowed to plant ceramic poppies at the installation. In fact, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association enjoys a strong partnership with the Royal British Legion, and to celebrate that immense friendship, the Royal British Legion has labelled the 1st of November 2014 as the Ahmadiyya Muslim Poppy Appeal Day. Apart from this, throughout the year, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association have involved themselves in a number of different charitable activities for the community. These include blood donations, feeding the homeless, planting trees, street cleaning, and volunteering for the elderly. This year, 3,000 volunteers from the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association dedicated 100,000 hours to charitable causes, donated 2,500 pints of blood, planted 75,000 trees, and sent over 20,000 parcels to feed the homeless. The activities culminated in the MKA Charity Challenge, the flagship charity event for the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. This is a series of challenges including running, cycling or walking to raise money for charity. This year over £300,000 was raised for British charities. Here are some of the highlights from the MKA Charity Challenge this year.
Zaki Ahmed from Morden.
Sabur Tahir from Birmingham West.
Excellent. And how you find the walk and run today?
Very tiring.
He has been tiring.
There's a guy over there with a banana man costume, so it's great experience.
आगे बढ़ते रहो दम बदम दोस्तों आगे बढ़ते रहो दम बदम दोस्तों.
In this fever, these cyclists from around the UK are attempting an arduous feat. Their 600-mile journey began in Glasgow on Sunday. From there, they cycled through Newcastle and Hartlepool and are now heading to Yorkshire. It's then across the Pennines to Manchester, following that, Birmingham, before eventually finishing in London on Sunday. On the way, they're stopping at mosques, charity events and war memorials. Fundraising is for the British Heart Foundation and Humanity First. Yes, they're raising cash, but also community awareness.
The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth also have a programme to dispel myths and objections raised against Islam. By far the greatest challenge to Islam raised this year was the rise of ISIS. As such, members of the Youth Association wrote newspaper articles, conducted Twitter campaigns, appeared on local and national television and radio stations, and responded to the threat via a series of YouTube videos, which have racked over 50,000 views so far. Here's a highlight of some of the responses.
Ya ayna fayzillahi wal irfani yas'a ilaykal.
When I say the word jihad, what do you think of?
Is it by any chance anything like this?
If it is, it's not your fault. It's not even the fault of the media, the people who promote those images. It's the fault of the people in those images. The people who invite us to jihad with an AK-47 in their hand.
Who tell us that jihad is to mercilessly slaughter thousands of innocent people in foreign lands.
Who tell us to leave behind our humanity and to give unquestioning obedience to military commanders.
And why? Because they say that Islam says so.
Because the Prophet did it.
And so should you.
But we're going to prove to you that the extremists are wrong on every single count.
The Prophet Muhammad himself, his example was the antithesis of these people in Iraq and the antithesis of all extremism. And in the face of, when confronted with aggression, it wasn't his response to react with aggression, it was his response to turn the other cheek, to react with peace, and to simply look in a different direction.
Now for something a little different. What would you do if a person fell into a railway line and there was an oncoming train? Well, this is exactly what one young Ahmadiyya Muslim youth worker was faced with this year. Osman Dean was waiting for a train home at Stockwell Underground Station when he saw a woman collapse headfirst onto the tracks. Without a thought for his own safety, he jumped onto the tracks as the train was approaching and pulled the woman to safety. Mr. Dean was honoured with the Act of Courage Award and the Outstanding Achievement Award, selected by the Mayor of Merton, Councillor Crystal Miller. In terms of videos and virals, the Youth Association kicked off the year with a eulogy to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. One viewer's comment was, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Mashallah, makes you cry. Here's a snapshot of that video.
They say love is blind, but I say it is hatred that takes away the power to see. The West must begin to understand, to investigate what is it that draws the hearts of billions towards one man. It cannot be the sword. The power of the sword dies with the sword. It is beauty. True beauty is timeless. It is not restricted by boundaries or fashions and fads. It endures and has the power to capture the hearts. It was this sparkling beauty that captured the heart of Muhammad's first follower, his wife Khadija, who more than all others understood that beauty is Muhammad.
Furthermore, the Youth Association launched a number of programs this year, including MKA News, which gives a summary of the Youth Association's activities, Be Inspired, which presents videos to inspire our youth, summary of the Friday sermon, and the launch of the campaign Just 2 Pages, which was a viral campaign encouraging youth to read the writings of the promised Messiah, alayhi salam. Moving on to AMSA, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Students Association. AMSA embarked on a massive outreach program across the United Kingdom in order to teach and promote the true message of Islam. Events were held at the Imperial College London, University College London, Queen Mary's, Birmingham University, Kingston, just to name a few. The topics covered included atheism, salvation, the Holy Quran and science, who was Adam, and the role of Islam in a contemporary world. The highlight of every year of the Youth Association is the National Khudam Ijtima. Held over 3 days, over 3,000 members of the Youth Association gather together in order to remember God, learn more and share some good times. Let's take a trip down memory lane and hear some highlights from this year's National Ijtima.
Really enjoying it, the weather's amazing. Yeah? He's really enjoying it, yeah.
Good. I'd say it's opportunity with Hazur, people outside in the world are crying out for opportunity and they can't do it, some don't have money, some got distances. We don't get this chance every day. So for just that one reason alone, they should be here.
अहलन व सहलन मरहबा आया फतहे मुबीन अहलन व सहलन मरहबा या अमीरुल मोमिनीन अहलन व सहलन मरहबा आया फतहे मुबीन अहलन व सहलन मरहबा या अमीरुल मोमिनीन अहलन व सहलन मरहबा.
Every year should be better for a Muslim. So as we go on to the next, I leave you with some words from Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, may Allah be his helper, delivered at the last National Ijtima. Assalamu alaikum.
The Prophet Muhammad has also taught us that the purpose with which his Jamaat was established was to testify to the truth that Islam is a living religion. If every one of us do not understand this and instead follow worldly pursuits and give less value to our religion, then we will not be fulfilling our duties and objectives as Ahmadi Muslims. Thus, every Ahmadi should seek to develop his own personal relationship with Allah and focus on prayer. They should live their lives as the Holy Quran has guided, by staying away from all bad things and instead adopting all good virtues. Every Ahmadi should be regular in his prayers and should seek to spread truth to all corners of the world. It should be that your character is so good that it is an example to the entire world.